You got locked up. You were reckless driving. I was not reckless driving. I actually got sued from the bond company.
She wasn't sweating it until we really separated. And then she started acting like a bitter baby mom. Stay like that, like a bitter baby mom.
I wasn't fully finished with it, and he was not happy about it.
You knew what I wanted, and for some reason, you didn't do it. This isn't even about the money now. It's about being screwed over.
Plaintiff Lacheya Edwards claims she bailed out her boyfriend, and then he got another girl pregnant. She's suing for $703 for bail money. Defendant Rakiem Caldwell claims his ex is only asking for money because they broke up. He says he owes her nothing.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. The Honorable Judge Jerry Springer now presiding. Good morning, Judge.
Morning, Nige.
This is case number 023 on the docket, Edwards versus Caldwell.
We have the plaintiff, Ms. Lacheya Edwards,
Yes.
and you are suing your ex-boyfriend, Rakiem Caldwell,
Yes.
for $703 for an outstanding balance on a bail bond.
Yes.
Go ahead.
For the record, can I just say that I've known Rakiem for about 11 years. Me and him actually have a son that's 7 years old.
Oh,
I
great.
did submit pictures.
Son? Oh, there he is.
Yes. We recently broke up last year, June, due to the fact of him stepping out on our relationship and getting someone pregnant. Last year, Rakiem called me. This was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. He called me stating that he got locked up and he needed me to bond him out. I was kind of hesitant at first. I had to be at work at 7 o'clock that morning, but I went, called the bondsman. It took about an hour to process him and bond him out. It cost, at that time, I had to pay $750.
Okay.
I paid $600, debited my account, which I have the evidence that I paid $600, debited my account, and $150 in cash.
Okay.
Rakiem did give me $600 the following day to pay me back the money that I spent at that time
Yeah.
towards his bond.
Got it.
However, the rest of the balance, he told me not to worry about it because that once the charges dropped, that he's not going to have to pay anything.
Were the charges dropped?
No, the charges weren't dropped. He was guilty of the charge.
What were you charged with?
I was charged with reckless driving.
Not drunken driving?
Nah, not drunken driving.
No, okay. Reckless
driving, yeah.
Yeah. Did you serve time for it, or?
Nah, I didn't serve no time for it.
What was the bond amount?
It was $15,000, I believe.
Okay, the bond amount was $15,000, and normally with a bondsman, you then need to pay 10% of it.
Yes.
So that would be $1,500.
Correct.
And so you paid $750,
Yes.
and so another $750 was owed to the bondsman.
Actually, the remaining balance was a $702.
Okay, so it was a little less. What part of that do you disagree with?
Basically, she went out on her own goodwill, and she offered to pay the
But
rest
you
of the
called
bond.
her to bail you out.
I hit her up. I was like, hey, I'm locked up. Explain my situation, told her the bond.
She came down at 1 o'clock in the morning because she got a call saying that you, the father of her child, was locked up. So she did bail you out.
Yeah, facts. I got out that night.
Gee, it seems fair that you would pay her back for that.
It don't make sense to me that way because I look at it like we're in a relationship together. You know, I did things for her. She did things for me.
Were you two together then?
Yeah, we're living together.
When you're talking about cash, that's a significant amount of a cash withdrawal used on my credit card. That would seem to most people you ask on the street, yeah, if somebody bails you out, you give them the money that bailed you out. Otherwise, you're sitting in there.
She wasn't sweating it until we really separated. And then she started acting like a bitter baby mom. You know, straight like that, like a bitter baby mom.
Our relationship wasn't like that where, okay, I'm going to pay $600 for you. I have 2 kids that I have to take care of.
Who's paying the rest of the money?
The rest of the money, I actually got sued from the bond company for the rest of the money. I actually came to him. I actually texted him, which I have messages here, stating that the bond company was suing me. Exhibit L. There's a whole thing where I texted him and told him, I told you he told me, I told you if I got to pay it, I'll pay it.
And that's because she was on my back.
You got locked up. You were reckless driving. I was not reckless driving.
Yeah.
Then I came to him and I tried to talk to him. There was a payment plan of $100 $100 a month that I was supposed to pay. I got it down to $35 a month and told him that it's only $35 a month. Why don't you pay that? He told me he would pay it. That is no problem.
Trying to play me. I ain't say all that.
Okay,
She
well,
tryna
you
play
did
me.
say in this text, I told you if you got to pay, I'll pay
I'll
it.
pay it.
You call at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, because you're locked up, and could she come down and she bails you out? That is a fact that neither of you are disputing, and clearly from the bond company, we see that you, and the evidence here, that you did pay this $750 combination of the debit card and cash.
This same bond company that's actually suing me
Yes.
because they know that I have a job, sued him 2018, but never got anything from him because he
Yeah.
wasn't employed.
Okay,
I look at it like situations like that where she chose to bomb me out. I could have stayed in jail for another night and got PTA and the case dismissed
But
or
you
whatever
called
the
me.
procedure was going to be. So I just called her because me and her at the time, we was living together, we was going together, and I basically wanted to let her know where I was at. You know what I mean? Because a lot
At
be
1,
going
2
on in
o'clock in the
Hartford.
morning and you don't work, okay.
And I wanted to let her know where I was at and what happened in the situation because we was together, so I felt like you should know
Yeah.
what happened. And I told her, hey, you know what? This is what happened, and this is what my bond is, and I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. And she chose to sign that agreement on her own, just like we was doing, you know what we was doing, you know what I mean? And she was cool with the simple fact of coming through for the kids. So I never asked, she offered that.
you
I
accepted
offered
She
it.
came through for the kid,
Your Honor,
and that
can we
was
go
it.
to
You-
Exhibit M, where I messaged him and I said, I guess it is what it is. We're both gonna get sued then. Rakiem said, which court is it from? I'll go to the clerk's office and pay.
Like I said, that's because I was getting off my back. Every time I hit her up to drop off some clothes and some toys, she always was talking about, hey, where that money at? Where the
get
money at?
me
Where the
off
money
your
at?
back for a debt
Bitter
that
baby
you owe.
moms. I'm trying to handle my business and drop off clothes
The
and
last time you
toys
gave me
and
money for your son
like I
was in
said, bitter
January,
baby mom.
$50.
Nah, you tryna play me.
gave
Stop
me in
trying to play me.
January.
You know.
There's no trying to play you. You gave me $50 in January for your son, but you're trying to do what you have to do. No.
I just bought some clothes last week. Just last week, y'all.
Okay, you bought clothes last week. The last time you gave money towards to help was January for your son. You don't call me and ask what he needs. And that's not even
I
why
don't know
we're
what
here.
you're spending.
We're
I don't
here
know what
for
you're
this
spending the
debt
money
that you
on.
owe.
And the simple fact is that I'm saying that I said that to get her off my back. I'm gonna pay it back
So you
because
said
I'm trying to do what I'm
numerous
supposed to
times,
do.
numerous
and,
times.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to be a
have
father.
Exhibit K that I
Okay.
can read numerous times. It even came down, didn't I tell you, if it came down
Okay.
to it, I'd pay it.
All
I
right.
never asked.
Okay, I'm not saying this isn't important. I'm saying it's not what this case is about. Okay? This case has only one question. Does he owe you the $703 remaining on the bond debt?
I told her that I would pay because I was trying to, do my responsibilities as a father
Yeah.
and call her to drop stuff off that I was buying. So with her always saying, you got to pay me this money, that's exactly why I was like, all right, you know what, I'll do whatever the case may be. But she signed them documents that I never asked her to. She offered to sign those
You
documents.
called me
I called you because we was in a
and begged me
relationship.
because I was the only option, the only call that you had. If that was the case, you would have called someone else to come and bond you out at 1, 2 o'clock
I
in
never
the morning.
asked you.
But
you
you
offered.
didn't.
Okay.
And then the next day, you gave me the $600. So if that was the case, why'd you give me $600 the next day?
Because that's how I'm supposed to come through. I'm supposed
So
to
you're
as a
supposed to
man
come through now
in a
and pay
relationship.
what you
All
owe.
right.
You know what I'm saying, y'all?
Okay.
I'm supposed to do that.
Okay. From your point of view, you're thinking, hey, give me a little space here because I did this for you or whatever. But even if everything you're saying is morally correct, even if you had been great to her through the whole relationship, did wonderful things to her,
I was
even if
handling my business. I was
Okay.
doing the whole 9
Working?
yards.
even if you were, what I'm saying is on this particular instant, this is a debt that you need to repay her for. She paid to get you out of jail that night. That is very specific. It doesn't have to do with anything about weighing how these 11 years that you two have been off and on have been. It has nothing to do with you guys having a son together. It has nothing to do with how you bailed her out of tough issues. If this is an expense that she specifically paid and is now being sued for or payment demanded by the bonding company, it is perfectly reasonable for her to turn to you and say, you were the one that went to jail. I paid for this. I can't afford to pay back. You've got to pay it. Now, you can then discuss what happens with all the other things that have gone on between you two. What she owes you if you think she owes you for something. But on this item, I can't say you don't need to pay her back when the evidence is clear that she paid your bond. So I fine for the plaintiff in the sum of $703.
Thank you, Your Honor. People will look you right in your face and lie to you when they really know the truth.
She did something out of the kindness of her heart at that moment. And when it came to me taking care of my responsibilities as a father, she was always bringing up this moment. And I think it was just a retaliation tactic because we broke up.
I would never help him out ever again in my life.
Plaintiff Manuel Suarez claims the defendant botched a simple repair job on his car. He's suing for $250. Defendant Wesley Redmond claims he offered to fix the faulty repair job, but the plaintiff wanted to go to court instead. He
Please raise your right
says
hand.
he owes him nothing.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
So help me God.
Thank you. The Honorable Judge Jerry Springer now presiding. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Hey, Judge.
Case number 025 on the docket, Suarez versus Redmond.
Thank you, and welcome to both of you. We have the plaintiff here, Manuel Suarez, is suing the defendant, Wesley Redmond, for $250 for what you say is a botched car repair job. Okay?
Yes,
Go ahead.
I had Mr. Redmond do work for me before, welding work.
Yes.
I know all about cars. I can fix a lot of things. I just need a repair manual, and I have all the tools and whatnot.
Oh, good.
So anyway, I had him weld my exhaust. He did a really good job on that. The patch came out really nice. It was fully welded all the way around. No leak. It's still good.
Yeah.
This job came up. I needed some more welding done. I explained to him 5 different times, 5 different ways exactly what I wanted. I paid to have the rot cut out of the vehicle and a patch welded into the vehicle, not tack welded, effectively riveting it. I wanted it welded in there to pass the state inspection. I don't understand how there could have been any miscommunication.
Well, how was it done?
It wasn't fully welded in there, and there's body filler underneath in there. It's not at all what I paid for. I could have done it that way myself.
Okay.
You can see pictures of the body filler that's stuffed in there. I don't see what there would be to seal in with body filler had it been welded in there. It would have been painted, not fillered.
Your Honor, I had worked on cars professionally. I was in an automotive shop for over a year and a half, and I
Yes.
had helped my boss. He was the only one licensed to do state inspections, and I was going to get my state inspection license, but I have to get my driver's license first. I don't have that yet.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 19.
You're 19. Okay.
So I was studying and watching how he did it and taking notes on what passed and what didn't pass. And as far as rot work went, it was kind of body work. It wasn't framework, but it consisted under framework because cars don't have an actual frame. They have a subframe. It's built into the car. And the rear strut tower right there, that was the
I
outer.
tell you what, let's put the pictures up there, and I want you to show as you're using these terms. Okay, why don't you walk up to the...
So your strut
Picture,
tower, this
yeah.
is your strut tower. This is where your shock comes up and bolts to your car. This side here, here, and here, that's all structural.
Okay.
This all is your outer fender well. So basically that keeps anything your tires kick up on the outside of the car.
Got it.
He said he wanted it welded in, and I had done that, but he didn't explain to me in detail. That's why our miscommunication was that he wanted it welded all the way around completely. I welded the entire bottom piece, and I had tacked it up. And I put Bondo on it because when you weld steel, it
What's
oxidizes.
Bondo?
It's basically body filler. It's a hard paste. It goes on like a liquid and it dries and gets hard.
I see.
The whole purpose for putting Bondo on it, which that was part of our miscommunication, was that he didn't want Bondo on it. And to pass New Hampshire state inspection, the weld has to be sealed. If it's not welded all the way around, you can seal it with Bondo because if it is not sealed, emissions from the exhaust can get up into the cab.
So that doesn't meet state standards, right?
Yes.
Our verbal agreement had nothing to do with what passes state inspection. I could have took a pop rivet gun and pop riveted a piece of steel in there and put Bondo over it myself, and it would have cost me $40, not $250. Not any body filler. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about state inspection. That's not what we discussed. That's not what I prepaid somebody for. This isn't even about the money now. It's about being screwed over. You knew what I wanted.
Okay.
And for some reason, you didn't do it.
I don't see any maliciousness here. There was an honest miscommunication on exactly what you want. You knew what you wanted. He didn't get the correct message, apparently.
He had texted me about this, and he was not happy about it, which I could tell.
Yeah.
And he needed the car. I wasn't fully finished with the car. He had given me $500 up front to do $250 for each side. So he's seen it. He didn't appreciate it. So and he needed the car for work. And I told him basically, I'll get this one side done. I'll give you $250 for the other side that I hadn't got done. I'll give you that back so you can get back and forth to work, because he needed the car for work for that week.
Right.
And I had told him that after this week, potentially next week or the week after, I'll be available. If you want to drop it back off to me, I'll fix it and make it exactly how you want it for no additional charge.
He didn't cut any of the rot out of the vehicle. How can you miscommunicate? Cut the rot out of the vehicle. What is there to miscommunicate on?
Your Honor,
Well-
we had never agreed on, talked about cutting the rot out of the vehicle. He simply told me he wanted patches welded in.
Okay.
The correct way to weld patches in is to cut the rot out. And I know I said to.
Okay.
It's like cancer. If you have cancer in your arm and you don't cut your arm off, it's going to go up your arm and get to the rest of you. So I paid money effectively for nothing.
Your Honor, I had agreed in Exhibit F, I did agree to that he would have him come back and I would fix it for him free of charge, and we would talk it over and I would show him, basically get it done for him exactly how he wanted it done. And instead of bringing it back to me like we had agreed upon beforehand when he first took the car, I woke up the next morning after he took the car with him threatening to me to take me to court over this, and I didn't understand why. I was really pissed off that I counted him as a friend, and I was trying to help him out. This job to do it in a shop professionally is anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500, and I knew he didn't have a lot of money at the time, so that's why I'd offered to do it cheap for him. I did not want to do the job. I just wanted to help out a friend, and I didn't have a lift to do this job. This is up under the car.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lift to do this job. I was doing this in the dirt on my back, trying to help a friend out.
Sure.
I just felt like he didn't keep his word to me, is what it felt
It's
like.
not, okay. The worst that happened is he didn't fully understand exactly what you wanted. You can't say then you're being ripped when he's willing to fix the problem. That's the most you can ask of someone, because he certainly has done work. He has done recognizing the initial mistake, is willing to correct it. You have the choice to say, I don't want you to correct it. In that case, I dismiss the case.
I really feel like he didn't do it the way I wanted him to intentionally, so he could just pocket the money. I don't see it taking him more than an hour and a half to do what he did. That's damn good for $250.
I'm sorry we miscommunicated, man. That's about it.
Hey, YouTube, thanks for watching. For more Judge Jerry, click here. For more Jerry Springer, click here.